So today is Tuesday, April 21st, and we are seeing two areas of potential thunderstorms that could go severe. So we have both are a slight threat, but we have really up in the northeast, we see kind of that slight threat over parts of New Jersey and the New York and Rhode Island and the eastern Pennsylvania, that whole area. And essentially what all of that is what we're expecting to be just some really damaging wind gusts because it's going to be a squall line that's going to be moving through there. It's not going to be a whole day threat, and we'll check it out on the reflectivity on what's going to be occurring. But our big thing up there is it's going to be one line of thunderstorms moving through, and that about does it. But into Oklahoma and Texas, we do have a slight and a pretty big marginal threat, and that's going to be a supercell or two that are going to be forming. They're going to kind of form a big system of supercells that is going to end up being kind of later in the day. When we say big, it's just going to be a pretty longer storm. We're going to see it long-lived. And it's going to be a storm that is going to produce out of two or three cells that are going to combine, and we're going to see some cells producing along the way. And that energy could lead to a severe threat later in the week that could go into the south. But right now, all we're seeing is just kind of that potential for that energy to build up and allow for some of those bigger storms. And that's why we have a slight threat there. But we'll check that out on the reflectivity to show you what exactly is happening. So our temperatures for today, we are seeing a Arctic dip occur where in the south we have those really warm temperatures, but the further north you get from those southern states, the colder it gets. And that is due to kind of that dip in that jet stream area, and we're bringing that colder air out of Canada down into the Midwest and Ohio Valley states. And this should rebound though and get back up to normal here very quickly. In the Midwest, we are expecting temperatures in the 60s, and then in the Central Plains, we can also expect temperatures in the 70s later in the week. But just for today, we're going to see temperatures going down all day in the Midwest, and then them rising behind it. And we're going to see some very nice temperatures across the plains. We're going to see them up in the 70s, 80s in some areas. But it's going to be a nice day, and in the south, we can also see them in the 80s and even 90s in some areas. So just a really nice day. You can expect a lot going on, but it's just a quick dip of cold that's going to be here for about 2 days. It's going to be in the Midwest and Ohio Valley today, and then tomorrow it'll start warming back up, and then in the Northeast we will see that tomorrow, and really we'll see that moving out, and then that warm up occurring then in about 2 days. And then finally, our reflectivity. And as we go through, I want to first point out what's occurring right around lunchtime. We can see that there is that kind of whipping action occurring with that low pressure in Canada. And you can actually kind of see what's drawn out there in that jet stream. You can see the dip coming out of Minnesota, and you can see the rise coming up out of the northeast area. But as we go through the day, we're going to see that these storms are going to kind of file into a squall line that goes all the way up from Maine clear down into Virginia, and that's going to be that right side of that jet stream dip, and that's going to bring a squall line with damaging winds, potential for an embedded tornado, not expecting it since it doesn't have much time till it goes out to sea, but really our big thing is going to be just damaging winds along the squall line. So focusing back to Oklahoma, we see around lunchtime a group of cells coming out of Kansas and Colorado, and we really see it being supported by some rain showers behind it. And as that goes, we'll see some supercell development right around, kind of that mid-afternoon to just before dinner time. We'll say about 3 to 4 p.m. there, maybe 5 at the latest. But we'll see a group of cells start to make their way from the panhandle of Texas and the panhandle of Oklahoma into the western part of Oklahoma. And as we go into the really 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour, we're going to see that enter the central part of Oklahoma. And that's where it has, you can see that supercell form right there, where it's a little bit more severe. So we'll see that travel into 11 p.m. as kind of a bigger cell right through Oklahoma City. So we do have the potential there for that group of cells. There's like 2 or 3 supercells there, according to the HRRR future model. What we can expect, though, is really the potential for a bigger hail threat than anything else. We could see some damaging winds with that, there's no doubt about that, but our biggest threat's going to be hail, then we have some damaging wind threat, but since they're a supercell, that's really just going to be some of that downburst wind if we have that on a downdraft. But our big thing is going to be hail. We do have a chance of tornadoes with this because it is a supercell, and it does look like it is being supported by some extra energy, and it's going to be a really warm, moist air environment, which, I mean, we do have that possibility for. So that's just good stuff to look out for. Expect thunderstorms tonight across the OKC metro, and then in the morning hours, we'll see that making its way through into Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and eventually into the south. So that's kind of it for today. That's all we're seeing. It's a colder day overall for the Midwest, warmer day for parts of the plains in the south, and then basically we're going to see some rain moving through on a squall line right around lunchtime in the northeast, and then as you see, we're going to have a supercell development occurring in Oklahoma by the end of the today. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow in tomorrow's forecast, and I hope you all have a great day.